If your nervous system learns survival inside relationships, it often heals inside relationships too. Not toxic ones, not intense ones, safe ones. That process is called co-regulation. And if you've never heard of it, or if it sounds uncomfortable, confusing, or even threatening, that makes sense. Because trauma doesn't just change how you think about people. It changes how your body responds to closeness, distance, tone, and presence. Today, we're going to talk about co-regulation, not as a concept, but as a lived nervous system experience. What it is, why it works, why it often feels wrong at first, and how to begin building it without losing yourself or becoming dependent on the person who hurt you. Because co-regulation is not about attachment at any cost. It's about teaching your body that safety can exist without pain. Let's start with something important. Most people believe healing is something you do alone, inside your head. They think if they understand enough, process enough, think positively enough, their symptoms will fade. But trauma doesn't live in thoughts. It lives in the nervous system. And nervous systems learn through experience, not explanation. Your autonomic nervous system is constantly asking one question. Am I safe right now? It doesn't ask this in words. It asks it through heart rate, muscle tone, breath, digestion, posture, and attention. And one of the strongest signals of safety your nervous system recognizes is another regulated nervous system nearby. This is not a flaw. It's biology. From the moment you're born, your nervous system develops in relationship. As infants, we cannot self-regulate. We rely on caregivers to help us calm, settle, and feel safe. Through eye contact, through voice tone, through touch, through predictable presence. This process wires our nervous system. When caregivers are responsive and safe, the nervous system learns connection equals safety. But when caregivers are inconsistent, emotionally unavailable, frightening, or overwhelming, the nervous system learns something else. It learns that connection is unpredictable. That closeness may lead to pain. That safety must be monitored, managed, or earned. And so the body adapts, not because it's broken, but because it's trying to survive. This is where co-regulation becomes complicated for trauma survivors. Because if your nervous system learned danger in relationship, then safety in relationship feels unfamiliar, even threatening. Your body may crave connection and fear it at the same time. You might feel calmer when someone is near, but also tense, hypervigilant, or numb. That doesn't mean co-regulation doesn't work for you. It means your nervous system learned it under unsafe conditions. So let's be clear about what co-regulation is not. Co-regulation is not emotional dependence. It is not losing yourself in another person. It is not needing constant reassurance. And it is not replacing self-regulation. Co-regulation is a bridge. It's the process of your nervous system borrowing safety from another regulated system until it learns how to access that state on its own. And this is why co-regulation is often the fastest way to heal trauma responses, because it bypasses the thinking brain and speaks directly to the body. When you're near someone who is calm, grounded, predictable, and emotionally available, your nervous system automatically begins to mirror them. Your breath slows, your shoulders drop, your heart rate stabilizes, not because you tried to relax, but because your body detected safety. This happens below conscious awareness. Polyvagal theory explains this through the ventral vagal system, the part of your nervous system responsible for social engagement, connection, and safety. This system activates when your body perceives cues like warm facial expressions, soft, steady voice tone, predictable responses, non-threatening eye contact, calm body language. These cues signal you're not alone, you're not in danger. And when your ventral vagal system comes online, healing becomes possible. But here's the part that many people struggle with. If you've experienced trauma, especially relational trauma, co-regulation can feel uncomfortable at first. Even with safe people, you might feel restless or suspicious or emotionally flat or overwhelmed by closeness. This is not a sign you're doing something wrong. It's a sign your nervous system hasn't learned this pathway yet. For many trauma survivors, safety feels boring. or foreign, or like the calm before something bad happens. Because your body learned to associate closeness with threat. So when you encounter calm, your nervous system may scan for danger. It may activate sympathetic energy, anxiety, overthinking, tension, or it may drop into dorsal shutdown. Numbness, withdrawal, disconnection. Again, not because you're broken, because your body is protecting you. This is why forcing connection doesn't heal trauma, and why co-regulation must be gentle, consistent, and choice-based. You cannot shock your nervous system into safety. It learns safety through repetition, small moments, predictable experiences, low-stakes connection. Co-regulation doesn't start with deep intimacy. It starts with tolerable presence, being in the same room as someone calm, sitting near someone without needing to perform, sharing silence without pressure. These moments matter more than emotional disclosure, because your nervous system is tracking regulation, not content. This is why therapy can be so effective, not just because of insight, but because of the therapist's regulated presence. A calm voice, a steady rhythm, a predictable response. Over time, your body learns, I can feel activated and not be abandoned. I can be quiet and still be accepted. I don't have to collapse or perform to stay connected. That learning rewires the nervous system. But here's an important distinction. Co-regulation does not mean relying on one person for all your safety. That can recreate trauma bonds. Healthy co-regulation expands your system. It gives you multiple sources of safety. Friends, therapists, supportive environments, even animals or nature. Anything that helps your body settle without cost. And slowly, something shifts. Your nervous system starts to internalize that regulation. The calm you once borrowed becomes something you can access on your own. This is where self-regulation grows, not as a replacement for co-regulation, but as a result of it. Many people try to skip this step. They push themselves to self-regulate without ever having experienced safe co-regulation, and then they wonder why it doesn't work. But self-regulation is a learned skill, and it grows out of relational safety. So if you struggle to self-soothe, that doesn't mean you failed. It means you weren't taught yet. Now let's talk about how to begin building co-regulation safely. The first step is choice. You get to choose who you practice co-regulation with. You don't owe access to anyone. Look for people who are predictable, respectful of boundaries, emotionally consistent, calm in their own body, not perfect, just regulated enough. The second step is dosage. You don't need hours of connection. Often, a few minutes is enough. Short conversations, brief shared activities, quiet companionship. Your nervous system learns through frequency, not intensity. The third step is tracking your body, not your thoughts. After connection, ask yourself, did my breath change? Did my shoulders drop? Did my body feel heavier or lighter? These cues tell you whether co-regulation is occurring. Not every interaction will feel good. That's normal. But over time, you should notice more moments of settling. The fourth step is repair. No relationship is perfectly regulated. Misattunement happens. What matters is repair. Being able to reconnect after a rupture and without punishment, withdrawal, or escalation teaches your nervous system resilience. This is one of the most healing experiences for trauma survivors because it updates the old belief. Disconnection equals danger. Into something new. Disconnection can be repaired. And finally, co-regulation must be paired with self-compassion. Your nervous system learned these patterns for a reason. You don't need to shame it into change. You need to give it new information, again and again, gently. Over time, co-regulation weakens trauma responses. The pull toward toxic bonds softens. The urgency decreases. The fear of being alone loses its grip. Not because you forced independence, but because your body no longer believes safety requires pain. This is what healing looks like. Not becoming invulnerable. Not never needing others. But being able to choose connection without losing yourself. If co-regulation feels hard for you, that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means your nervous system is learning something new. And learning takes time. You are not behind. You're not weak. You are reteaching your body how to feel safe. And that is deep work.